Hey, today we're going to take Nick's pool and upgrade it to this pool. We got to level the ground a little bit. Let's get started. Nick, you've tried this once.
I did. So I put it up last Friday thinking that we had the ground level enough to work with. And after filling it overnight, when you woke up in the morning, you realized we were going to have a tsunami out towards the back.
So when they say that it needs to be level ground,
it needs to be level ground.
it needs to be level ground.
Yeah,
5 or 6 inches is not going to.
It's not going to work. I was hoping it would maybe be 2 to 3 inches, and it was closer to 5 or 6 inch pitch between this side and that side. So definitely was not going to be a good swimming experience.
Before you know it, it's liable to spill all of it out.
Absolutely.
So our plan, sometimes I like to just tell you what the plan is, and then if we have to change the plan, you'll see how I was thinking, at least when we came into it. We'll set up the laser level and see how far off we are. And my plan is to take the tiller here and till the uphill side of this, right? So all this that you can kind of tell it's uphill, till that. And my tiller sort of leaves a furrow at the end. So I'd kind of like to leave that furrow here on the uphill side all the way around it. And then we'll take the bucket maybe and pull that excess dirt down to the lower side. And if we need some more leveling after that, we've got another tool that we're hiding in the background that we'll use to finish off that leveling. That's the plan. Let's see how it works. Looks like that's how much slope we got.
About 6 inches, huh? Well,
At
7.
least 6, maybe 8, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it looks like the highest spot is right over there, kind of toward the camera, actually.
Okay.
You don't mind us going a little outside the pool area?
No, I would rather it actually because of those legs. And, you know, I might backfill a little in with sand too. So you do what you got to do. I can do a light landscaping fix.
Beyond your legs, do you want it a pretty steep slope, or do you want it, you want to gradual out further? How would you like that?
You know, wherever you can make it gradual, like if it's drastic, because if we have a drop off into that, it'll probably be rough to backfill anything in. But you know, whatever you can do to sort of level it out as you go.
Okay,
that's a lot of disparity.
Your preference would be, if we're going to have to take off 4 or 5 inches up there, is to have that kind of gradually slope down.
If you could.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what we need to know.
Yep. That'll work.
So how big is the new pool?
So that is a 20-footer.
Okay.
And that's the biggest of the sort of above ground, you know, set and play, I guess you would call them, right? The ones that nowadays you could just throw on top of the yard. 20 foot, I think, is the biggest they make in that. It is 4 foot deep.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a good sized pool, right?
Yeah. So it looks like you tried sand. Was that your first attempt, or did you just set up the pool and put water in it?
Nope, that was my first attempt. I knew that side was really low, so I went out and bought about 15 bags of sand, thinking I could just make up for it a little bit, right?
Okay.
And it did not work, obviously.
Okay. So you didn't have a level or anything to know exactly?
Yeah, no, I used my 3-footer. I used a 2x4 and put my 3-foot level on there. I knew it was going to be off, but until you got the water in there, you couldn't tell how bad it was.
Right, sure. Now, what did the instructions in the pool tell you?
Get it as level as you can.
That's all they said? They didn't really give you any hints as to how to do that?
No, you want it to be on level ground, and it's really important that it's level. And if you watch most people install them, they do just put them right on their backyard. But you get, I mean, these backyards are pitched pretty well because I think it's a flood area, you know, so you want it going, even if you look at any of the fences, you know, sort of into the storm drainage area.
So they made it look easier than it really
For sure. Well, especially if you know you have a pitch like this in your backyard, you know, you just, there was no way you could leave it that way, you know.
Okay. Like you got a few rocks.
Got some rocks under here. Hey, we're on someone else's property. Remember I told you I was going to get some insurance questions? Let's take one of those insurance questions from our Country Financial representative right now. As promised, we've brought Country Financial on as a partner to be able to answer some of your insurance questions that we've received at our tractortimewiththem.com/insurance site. Now, Steve, today's question is, my new tractor has insurance as a part of the financing. So this would be the Deere financing, the KTAC financing from Kubota.
Okay.
Is this coverage sufficient for my needs?
That's a really good question. I think it's something a person needs to dive into deeper. Most of the time, the coverage would not extend to liability. It's just going to cover typically the balance of the loan,
Okay.
what you're financing, and no liability. And liability can be a huge factor in this. You know, we can control or know the cost of loss on physical damage, but liability can be very costly.
Yeah, liability is my big concern. I'm concerned about damaging physical property. I'm concerned about an injury.
Right.
These are the biggest items. Hey, you can get more information at countryfinancial.com/TTWT. Ask your questions there. We'll be introduced to an agent right there that's hopefully close to you. Thanks, Steve.
Good. Thank you, Tim.
Okay, I've tilled this a couple of times. I'm going to try to bring some of this dirt downward here a little bit.
Good thing we didn't bring the bigger tractor.
I don't think you would have got it back here.
No.
I'm surprised when I look at this thing, I'm surprised he got it back here. But I guess I've had just enough room.
I love doing work like this in the springtime. It's still enough moisture, but it's not too wet this late spring. So yeah, I like that. So with this approach, you notice I'm even in two-wheel drive here. I'm not even in four-wheel drive. I love using the tiller to make the dirt work moving a lot easier. There's no question you could have come in here with the loader and moved this dirt. But by using the tiller, I just make it a lot easier to move. Now I'm piling it up here. I would have preferred to have spread it a little more here, but I don't have a lot of room behind me because I've got the tiller on. So I'm just kind of piling it up here. So maybe I'm at least doing half of the job. I'm moving it back away from where it needs to be pulled back from, but we'll have to spread it out here. So I'm pulling it the nearest dirt first. And the reason is because that's loose. And after I drive over it, it won't be loose anymore. Now, if this were the only tractor I had here, I've given it away. But if this were the only tool I had here today, I would till this again to level it out, right? Because that would be one of the easiest ways I can get that hump more leveled out. I would till it again. We have some examples of that earlier in our channel when we didn't have as much equipment. I just find that the tiller is incredibly versatile. Of course, its kryptonite is rocks. As you saw just a few of them here, it doesn't like that at all. But if you can avoid rocks, even roots you can handle to some degree, but rocks and bigger roots, it doesn't like that. But if you can avoid those, the tiller is a wonderful tool. It almost makes me seem like I'm pulling too much dirt back, Chrissy. But I think it'll be fine. This would be a lot to do by hand. We sort of make it look easy, and then some of you viewers may say, well, I could have done that by hand. Well, yeah, I probably could have too, but I'm not going to. I'm sure you've already figured out what my secret weapon is. The power rake! Of course! What better equipment is there for a leveling job? Quite frankly, none that I know. I'll see if I can close this down a little bit. I really don't have it far enough to my right either, so I'm going to have to move it over there a little bit further. I expected it to take 3 or 4 tillings before it was powdery enough to work, but this soil is working really well. of this project, he doesn't really care what elevation the pool is. Doesn't care how high it ends up. He just cares that it ends up level. So we have a lot of flexibility. Nick, we're not done yet, but might be a good time for us to figure out where we are.
See how close we're getting?
For sake of argument, let's call this the grade.
Okay.
When it gives you the line, that's saying it's on grade. It's not saying it's necessarily the right answer, it's just saying it's the same answer.
Right, right, right.
So run around here on this whole thing
Okay.
and see what you think. Is this higher, lower, whatever, right?
Okay.
It's hard for me to describe because I need continual grading, right? Because after I move it a little bit, I need that graded again, right?
Yep.
And so what I need, like, is it high over here? I don't know.
Looks high.
You think it's high?
By the eye, it looks high.
It's high, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
A little high here too. A little high there still, yeah. And it reads backwards here. When it says the stick needs to go down, that means it's high, right?
Right.
So
there we
there's
go.
your line.
So you're right here, about a ½ inch or an inch.
Now, what we have to do is decide what is the grade we're after.
Right.
And it looks to me like I need to take a good bit more off up here. I think we're down below the topsoil now that they've added.
Yep. You're getting in the clay.
And it took him about an hour and a half to get all the equipment ready this morning because, of course, the tiller wasn't on Johnny, nor was the power rake on Benny. And he had to load everything up. And then it was a 40-minute drive for us all the way over here. Just have to be seeing how long the project's going to take. But by the time we get home, it'll be late afternoon. So if you're thinking about using your tractor for business, factor in all that time. Anticipate it taking to put up your pool for you?
Oh, you know, I thought it was going to be 3 or 4 hours or so to get it set up, but in the end, it only took me and the boys about an hour and a half or 2 hours to get everything ready to go. So the setting up of the pool was easy. The problem was the ground not being level.
Okay.
Right? So then I spent the whole night filling it up, and then just had to come back and drain it in the morning.
Yeah.
It's starting to get there though now.
I think so, yeah.
Yep. I think that side's really high now, but that's just me eyeballing it. So now it's wanting to say probably about an inch low here. Okay, so it's
a little
pretty
high there.
over here, yeah.
So I need to move some of that, either that or raise the grade.
Yeah.
It's even higher there.
Yeah. So we're high here, and that's getting right on now.
I think I'll take that topsoil that's there and kind of push it down that way.
All right.
Because that's topsoil. You need it to grow your grass.
Yep. Yeah, still about the same here, still high on that side.
Did your kids play in the pool even though it was unlevel?
They got in there for a little bit.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, they got in there for a little bit, but it was cold.
I bet.
I want to remind you that even though I've driven over this a lot of times, if leaving this that we've brought in dirt a little bit high might be good because it probably will settle just a little bit.
Yep.
Whereas this up here won't settle.
Yeah, that's packed.
Yeah. So if anything, we want to leave this just a tad high.
Okay.
But still, I think we want to get this as level and smooth as possible, because I think it'll matter for your feet on that
Yeah, absolutely.
pool.
And I'll have the kids go through here and do some rock hunting for a while.
Yeah,
tonight,
yeah,
too.
that'll be good.
Is this taking him longer than he thought it would?
No, probably about what he thought.
Okay.
He thought he might have to till it a little bit more, but it tilled up really nicely the first pass.
Right.
It's nice, this thing, you can go over it, and he can even adjust the height if he wanted to.
Yeah, I think that's where he's at now. Is it probably works best to start bringing some of it back this way to balance it. But
Yeah.
again, I'm no expert.
Now he can do that slice,
Yeah.
take the edge off for you.
Oh, it's a good idea.
Nick had to go inside. He's got a conference call he has to be on. That often happens when you go on a job. It's really nice to be able to have the person around, because they know exactly what they want, and we might misinterpret what they want, but he's been out a lot. So we like to work when the homeowner is around.
See, I'm going to crank this thing up a little bit. Just for some final grading, I think.
You need a little. Needs a
Too
little.
high there?
It's a little low here.
That's easy. High there.
A little bit. You could put just a little bit right in here.
I think it may be good enough.
Okay. Guess he's just packing it down now. So this is 20 foot right to here.
Okay, I think the shortest will be this direction right here. We've got to about right here. Where's 20?
Right here.
Okay, I think you're good. A lot of this dirt out here is loose. You can rake it wherever you want it.
Right.
You need to make sure that you've got drainage. One thing I haven't done for you is water runs down in there. You don't want it running under here. You want it running around there,
Okay.
right? Because you're going to have water coming off.
Yeah.
So you think this is going to be good enough?
I think this is good, yeah. I mean, it wants to start to fall off over here, but we had 20 foot over to there, didn't we? I think this
Yeah.
is going to be good.
Yeah, I think this
Yeah.
was about the 20-foot mark. And again, you can rake it up there a little bit if you feel like.
can bring it up there and
We
settle
packed this
it in.
pretty hard. I mean, it may settle, but I think it'll be pretty good. Hey, Nick, thanks for having us over.
Well, hey, thanks for coming out.
Let us know when we can come join you in the pool.
I will. You'll get an invite for sure.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. First time we've done something exactly like this. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.